Welcome to the 2021 induction ceremony of the Alpha Eta chapter of Delta Omega. My name is Mitchell Rosen. I'm an associate professor in the Urban and Global Public Health Department and president of the Alpha Eta chapter of Delta Omega. To start our induction ceremony, I invite Dr. Leslie Cantor, chair of the Urban and Global Public Health Department, to offer a welcome and congratulations on behalf of the entire Rutgers School of Public Health. Dr. Cantor?
Thank you so much. So I am really here to congratulate you on behalf of the dean, all of our associate deans, the faculty, and the staff of the Rutgers School of Public Health on your induction into this very prestigious society. I want to say you should be particularly proud of your accomplishments given the, let's say, quite unusual year that we all have now made it through, and really probably about the most stressful and unusual year, I think, of any of our lifetimes, including those of us who are older. One thing that, though, is quite clear from the pandemic is that there has never been a more important time to go into public health. And I wanted to share with you that I'm a little bit jealous because when I got my public health degree, lots of people said, "What is this public health?" I don't think you will be getting that question very much. And I'm also delighted, in case you didn't get this news alert on your phone today, to let you know that President Biden announced today that $7.4 billion of the latest relief package is going to hire public health professionals. So if your parents aren't here, you should probably text them that there will be jobs, because that is always what parents are really worrying about. On a more serious note, I did want to really give you my sincere perspective that we're all really lucky that we have chosen public health as a path. You've probably seen people like David Brooks are writing books about, the crisis of meaning, and all these people who've spent years and years on a career that they then realize is not particularly meaningful, that they're not making contributions to society. And I wanted to share a quote from Marian Wright Edelman, who some of you probably know, started the Children's Defense Fund, and she is an awardee of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And she said, "Never work just for money or for power. They won't save your soul or help you sleep at night." So congratulations on picking a profession that will allow you to do both of those things. It's great to be with you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cantor. Delta Omega, founded in 1924, is a national honor society whose mission is to encourage research and scholarship among graduate students of public health and to recognize attainment and achievement in the field of public health. The Rutgers School of Public Health Alpha Eta chapter is one of over 50 active chapters around the country. Our chapter was founded in 2001, and since that time, we have inducted 311 students, faculty, alumni, and honorary members. Some of the activities we did this year included engaging with the Dornsife Drexel School of Public Health to host a joint webinar on student-engaged projects, and to provide an opportunity for connections between our students. We also encouraged our students to submit for the Delta Omega poster session. With the induction of 33 new members, all of you, this evening into our chapter, we hope to increase opportunities for engaging students and Delta Omega inductees into community service and research. I now invite Allison Foster, the Executive Secretary of Delta Omega and the Chief Finance and Operating Officer at the Association of Schools and Programs in Public Health, to provide an induction address. Allison?
Okay, thank you. How fun. So thank you for having me with you this evening. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history of Delta Omega. So you know a bit more about the society. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to keep it on preview because my Zoom's going to go a little crazy if I go to full screen. All right, is that good? Okay, super. All right, so yes, I'm Allison Foster. I'm the executive secretary for Delta Omega, which, as Dr. Rosen said, was founded in 1924. So that means we're coming up on our 100-year anniversary. So Delta Omega was originally founded by two graduate students. Their names were Edgar Hume and Claude Mitchell. They were attending Johns Hopkins University, which of course is one of the oldest schools of public health. And the story has it they were on a train ride and they were discussing the fact that there were honorary societies for all these other health professions, but not for public health. And they really felt that if public health was going to occupy a comparable position to other health professions, that they needed to have an honorary society. And so at the time, one of the primary objectives of creating such a society would be to link the schools that existed at the time in giving graduate instruction and be able to link them together. There were no membership associations for public health at the time. And they also felt that having an honorary society would really strengthen what they called a fledgling profession and put it on equal footing with other established specialties. And this has been a theme throughout the years, is public health really making sure it has a seat at the table. It is on equal footing as other health professions. But even today, Delta Omega still serves this purpose. It really connects institutions and people across the country, around the world. And it's also still the only honorary society for public health. So since I mentioned a bit about the history, so why Delta Omega? So I was actually doing a little research on it, and this is maybe a urban myth. I'm not quite sure if it's true, but it's kind of fun. So, Delta is the Greek symbol for change, but the story has it that they actually selected Delta as the first letter because what you see here, physician, researcher, sanitarian, were the way that folks viewed public health at the time. The field has changed a lot, but typically you had to be a physician to get your MPH. And they often did research, and sanitarian, of course, was something very well known at the time. So it was really the three tenets of what they considered public health at the time. And then Omega, the story goes, as you know, that means the end. They chose that because this should be the last academic honor that you'd be conferred before you go out in the workforce. So whether that's true or not, it's just kind of fun. So I thought I'd mention that. So over the years, we've had lots of growth in Delta Omega, and you can see on the screen, there were a few chapters, there were only a few schools. And then the Honor Society went kind of dark for a number of years. So I don't know if anybody wants to take a guess that happened. But World War II, it had a really devastating effect on academic life in the United States because so many people that were going to school were drafted or volunteered to go to war. And a lot of things, more than just Delta Omega, a lot of things shut down. Delta Omega did come back in the early 50s. But it actually took a couple decades until the 70s till it really got going again. But since then, it has, as you can see, grown by gangbusters. I think we have 120 chapters now. But this growth really correlates with the growth of schools and programs. So that makes sense. So we currently have, that we know of, 25,000 members. And the reason I mention that is the president's, or the national office, used to be housed at the president's office. So that whoever is the president had all the records. So some of our records, unfortunately, are in people's attics and basements. But we've spent years and years going through every archive, asking people to send us their records. And we put together a database of 25,000 members. So you all will very soon be on our database. You can actually go to our website and do a little search. And once you're officially inducted, then you will be part of that as well. So in the past, these were some of the activities that the national office and the whole society were active in. There was an essay contest. They used to sponsor lectures at APHA. The one that I was actually involved in at the tail end was the Curation of Literature. So what the society did was they would identify seminal works in public health, and these are just a couple of examples that were out of print. and they would actually commission hard copy reprints of these books. So they would come up with a budget and distribute these books to the schools that had Delta Mega chapters. And I'm sure you're familiar with some of these authors. We have about a dozen or so that we still have. So years later, we started finding these works and scanning them and digitizing them and publishing them on the website. And we also added forewords why these works were really important to make sure that public health students had access to them. Now the world's all digital, so there's not such a reason to do that anymore. But at the time, in the 1990s, this was really important that we were able to make these works available to students everywhere. So we've pivoted a bit and done some new things. So one of our activities now is we host a curricula award. We've had this for over 10 years. It's been absolutely incredible just to see the submissions that we get every year. And we do select winner, and they get to present at our annual meeting and by webinar as well. So it's just been great to really foster excellence in curricular development. And as Dr. Rosen mentioned, we also sponsor a poster session for students. We usually have about 29 students get to present at APHA, and the student presenters are given an award check and a certificate of achievement. They're highlighted on our website, and I just love working with the student poster presenters. It's just fantastic. I'm always glad to see that your chapter is really active and submits nominations for this as well. So that's a bit about the history of Delta Mega. So let's talk about your relationship with Delta Mega and why membership, I hope, is important to you. So as a member of Delta Mega, you are really setting an example for future generations of the public health workforce. I mean, you are, by virtue of the fact that you've been inducted, the embodiment of excellence in public health, and you're joining a society with many, many other incredible leaders and change makers in public health, and you're setting a path for them. So as the name implies, it's an honorary society. It's really about acknowledging outstanding achievements of the members. So we do have 4 categories of members: students, faculty, alumni, and honorary members. And the categories are limited. We do have a national limit on how many inductees you can have from each chapter. But the chapters make the decisions on how they select the inductees for this category. So we have, like I said, over 25,000 members, but one category I just want to highlight for you, just to kind of bring the point home that you are now in an honorary society with these other incredible leaders, is we do have a category for honorary inductees. And these are folks who aren't do not have a degree in public health. They don't teach in public health, but they've contributed greatly to the field of public health. And so some of our recent honorary members are Dr. Mona Hana-Hatisha. She is the physician that identified early on the water crisis in Flint, Michigan. I've met her in person, talked to her a number of times. She's just a wonderful, wonderful human being and so passionate about what she does. And we were really, really happy to be able to induct her as a member. And a couple of years ago, we inducted Peter Buxton. So he's one of the individuals, he was actually the original whistleblower for the Tuskegee experiments. And I'm sure you all studied this in school, but he was the whistleblower before whistleblower was even a term. Like, it wasn't known then. We didn't have that term back then. And he exhibited just such incredible bravery. There was no social media at the time to, fortify. He just went out on his own and said, and reported what was happening. So he's quite a bit older now. I think he's close to 90, but he's still alive. So we had a chapter of ours in California actually induct him in person in 2019. And what I'm told is it just meant an awful lot to him that his contributions are still remembered to this day. So we also inducted Shannon Watts, and she's the founder of Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. And then last year, we inducted Gretchen Whitmer, who's the governor of Michigan for extraordinary and early state response to COVID. She also exhibited a great deal of bravery. We inducted her and she spoke at our annual meeting by webinar. And 2 weeks later, there was a kidnapping attempt. So we were glad that we got her before she was so distracted by that, but she's was our most recent inductee. And now here's a little preview that I'm going to give you all that we haven't announced nationally, but one of our honorary members for this year is Brian Stevenson, who's the author of the book Just Mercy. So if you all have not read his book, there's a movie too, but if you haven't read the book or seen the movie, please do. So he's really brought social justice to the forefront of a lot of individuals' thinking. So what I want to, on this point, just mention again is that you are now being inducted into the same society as these members. So I hope that you realize what an honor it is to be in their good company. So let me just, oops, sorry. Here we go. So, so how you can get involved with Delta Omega once you're a member. So there are a lot of ways that you can get involved. I think the most important is take advantage of the networking opportunities. You've got peers, not just across the country, but around the world who are also Delta Omega members. And being a member of Delta Omega will open doors for you, and it really acknowledges your successes. So I do hope that you'll take advantage of that. One thing to keep in mind if you do attend APHA is we have a reception every year, and we love to have our members come back. So we hope that you will be able to join us. I believe we will be in Denver, Colorado at the end of the year. So we'll make sure we get the word out once we have a bit more details. We also have a LinkedIn group that you would be invited to join. So you can search on that for a website and join the group and network with other Delta Omega members. And we try to offer discounts to Delta Omega members as well. So just check our website periodically, and there might be something in there that that you might be interested in. We do have a merchandise site, and the reason I mention this is having a Delta Omega t-shirt or cap is a great way to get people to ask you about, what is that? What is Delta Omega? And you can start that conversation about public health. And that's really why wearables are great, because they're just great conversation starters. So you can share more about public health with friends and strangers. So the last point I'm going to make is how to get involved in your chapter. So that's really where a lot of your activities are going to be as alumni, is engaging with your chapter. So we really encourage this for the chapters to keep in touch with their inductees and have yearly activities. So we in fact have an award for active chapters. So they can set an example for some of the newer chapters, maybe that haven't created such activities. Your chapter has been around for a while, but we have some new ones that are trying to figure out how they want to engage their members. So just a couple of, I'm sorry, I forgot I had the slide in here. One thing that we do every year that you should keep an eye on is we have what's called a day of service. So it's always during National Public Health Week. And what we ask is for all chapters to have a day of service, locally, and call it the Delta Omega Day of Service and post on social media, and really brings Delta Omega members together everywhere as we're giving back to our communities. So this is just an example of some chapter activities. So the Gamma Mu chapters in West Virginia, and they do a lot of community service. Their students really lead a lot of activities. The Tau chapters at University of South Florida, and they also are really focused on community service as well. This is one of our newest chapters in Lebanon, the American University of Lebanon. And so they did a fundraiser and had a giving day. So I didn't want to take away the thunder about the Alpha Eta chapter. However, I'm going to brag for a second about one thing. So remember, I think it was in 2017, there were a number of hurricanes, and Puerto Rico was really devastated by Irma and Maria, I think. So we, the national office, held a fundraiser to stock a food pantry for students. And so, we asked all the chapters to do fundraisers, and then we put all our money in a kitty together. Your chapter raised more money than all the other chapters combined. So go Alpha Eta. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Allison, for providing the history and importance of Delta Omega and for being such a great leader in public health. We really appreciate you taking the time to be with us tonight and to provide your words to our inductees. So thank you very much.
My pleasure.
So Dr. Marian Passanante will now induct you into the Alpha Eta chapter of Delta Omega. Before that, I'd like to thank her for her leadership in our chapter. She's been involved for many, many, many years, and her leadership at the School of Public Health. I now turn the program to Dr. Passanante.
There. Thank you, Dr. Rosen, and thank you, Allison, for the, I love the talk. I particularly love the mention of the community service. This is something that Mitch and I would really like to continue, and some of our people who are being inducted today actually have been very involved in community service activities, and we hope to be able to call on people to do more in the future. So I have the great honor of formally inducting you into the Alpha Eta chapter of Delta Omega. And I'm so happy to see everyone here, including family members. So please feel free to use the reaction button to clap away when I announce people's names. Your Delta Omega certificate and a Delta Omega pin was purchased for you by the school, and they'll be mailed to you. So I'm going to proceed through your slides that were presented. Read your name, your degree, and your academic department in alphabetical order. I hope that works, right? All right, so Ilza Abersone, MS Hope, Health Outcomes Policy and Economics. Blair Atkins, MPH in Epidemiology. Sarah Alavi, MPH in Biostatistics. Patricia Amarilla, MPH, Epidemiology. Laura Bruce, MPH, Epidemiology. Dennis Canciello, MPH, Occupational Safety and Health. Abigail David, MPH, Social and Behavioral Health Sciences. Jessica Jejitz, MPH, Health Education and Behavioral Science. Devin Gillen, MPH, Epidemiology. Manisha Gurumurthy, MPH, Health Systems and Policy. Farhana Hack, MPH, Epidemiology. Fatih Hassan, MPH, Epidemiology. Did we skip one? Oh, okay. Hold on one second. Buwei He, MPH, MS, Biostatistics. Nan Ji, PhD, Environmental and Occupational Health. Elizabeth Kaplan, MPH, Epidemiology. Samantha Mellitz, MPH, Epidemiology. Dakota Pastor, MPH, Epidemiology. Marina Peretti, MPH, Epidemiology. Archuna Raghunath, MPH, Health Systems and Policy. Amber Roxon, MPH, Epidemiology. Raghuv Suchdava, MPH, Health Systems and Policy. Sanjana Subramanya, MPH, Epidemiology. Dharani Devakumar, MPH, Health Systems and Policy. Wai Wang, PhD, Biostatistics. Beth Ann Whittick, MPH, Health Education and Behavioral Sciences. Meijan Yo, MS, Biostatistics. Erin Zagorski, MPH, Occupational Safety and Health. Kulsum Zehra, MPH, Global Public Health. And Alexandra Zivkovic, MPH, Public Health Nutrition. Next, we would like to recognize the contributions of 2 faculty members by inducting them into Delta Omega. First, Dr. Jaya Sadagopan, Biostatistics and Epidemiology. Next, Dr. Stephanie Shao, faculty member in the Department of Biostatistics and Epidemiology. Each year, Delta Omega Selection Committee recognizes alumni who have made important contributions to the field of public health. This year, we have the privilege of inducting 1 Rutgers School of Public Health alum, Dr. Kristen Krause. Finally, I'd like to mention that our convocation speaker, Lori Garrett, is inducted as an honorary member in the Alpha Eta chapter. Congratulations to all of our newly inducted members. We are really very proud to be able to have you join the Alpha Eta chapter. And congratulations to your families as well.